Before we get into anything else, I need you to stop right now if you're over 60 and listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because the nuts you're eating right now, thinking they're healthy, could actually be sabotaging your health, draining your energy, and increasing your risk of serious health complications that nobody's talking about. In fact, just last week, I had a viewer reach out to me, 67 years old. She told me she'd been eating what she thought were the healthiest nuts every single day for breakfast, and she couldn't understand why her inflammation markers kept climbing, why her joints ached more and more, and why she felt like she was aging faster than her friends. And when I told her which nuts to avoid and which ones to start eating instead, within just 3 weeks, she messaged me back saying she felt like a different person. Her energy was back, her joint pain had decreased significantly, and her doctor was shocked at her latest blood work results. So today, I'm going to reveal the 4 worst nuts that are silently destroying your health after 60, and more importantly, the 4 powerful nuts that can actually reverse aging, protect your heart, sharpen your brain, and keep you feeling strong and vibrant well into your golden years. And I promise you, some of these are going to surprise you because they're sitting in your pantry right now. Now, before we dive into the specifics, let me explain why this matters so much more after you hit 60. You see, as we age, our bodies go through some pretty significant changes. Our digestive system doesn't work quite the same way it did when we were younger. Our ability to process certain compounds changes. Our inflammatory response becomes more sensitive, and certain nutrients that we could handle just fine in our 30s and 40s can actually become problematic in our 60s and beyond. This isn't about fear-mongering. This is about understanding your body and giving it exactly what it needs at this stage of life. So let's start with the bad news first. Then we'll get to the good stuff that's going to change your life. The first nut you need to avoid after 60, and this one shocks most people, is Brazil nuts when eaten in excess. Now, I can already hear some of you saying, wait a minute, I thought Brazil nuts were supposed to be super healthy because of the selenium. And you're right, they do contain selenium, but here's the problem. One single Brazil nut contains about 68 to 91 micrograms of selenium, and the recommended daily allowance for adults is only 55 micrograms. The upper limit, the absolute maximum you should consume, is for 100 micrograms per day. So if you're eating a handful of Brazil nuts every day like some health gurus recommend, you could be getting for 100 to 500 micrograms or more. And that puts you at serious risk of selenium toxicity. And let me tell you, selenium toxicity is no joke, especially for people over 60. The symptoms include hair loss, brittle nails, gastrointestinal distress, neurological problems, and even heart failure in severe cases. Your body after 60 doesn't clear excess selenium as efficiently as it once did, so it can build up over time. Now, does this mean Brazil nuts are evil and you should never eat them? Absolutely not. 1 or 2 Brazil nuts per week can actually be beneficial. But eating them daily or in large quantities, that's where the danger lies. So if you've been throwing back Brazil nuts every morning, it's time to cut back dramatically. The second nut on our danger list, and this one is controversial, is dry roasted and salted peanuts. Now, I know peanuts are technically legumes, not tree nuts, but most people think of them as nuts, so we need to address them. Here's the thing about commercial dry roasted salted peanuts. First, they're typically loaded with sodium. 1 serving can contain anywhere from 200 to 400 milligrams of sodium, and when you're over 60, high sodium intake is directly linked to increased blood pressure, which raises your risk of heart disease and stroke. But that's not even the worst part. Many commercially processed peanuts can be contaminated with aflatoxins, which are toxic compounds produced by certain molds that grow on peanuts. Now, all peanuts contain some level of aflatoxins, but poorly stored or processed peanuts can have dangerous levels. And here's what nobody tells you. Aflatoxins are carcinogenic, meaning they increase cancer risk, and they also put stress on your liver. Your liver after 60 is already working harder to process medications, filter toxins, and perform hundreds of other functions. The last thing you want to do is add more stress with contaminated nuts. Additionally, peanuts are one of the most inflammatory foods you can eat. They're high in omega-6 fatty acids, and while we need some omega-6, the modern diet is already overloaded with it. This creates an imbalance with omega-3 fatty acids, leading to chronic inflammation, which is the root cause of almost every age-related disease, from arthritis to Alzheimer's to heart disease. So, if you're experiencing joint pain, brain fog, or unexplained inflammation, take a good hard look at how many peanuts and peanut products you're consuming. The third nut you need to be extremely careful with after 60 is cashews, especially if they're not organic and not properly processed. Now, cashews are delicious, I'll give you that, but they come with some serious concerns for the over 60 crowd. First, cashews are relatively high in phytic acid, which is an anti-nutrient that binds to important minerals like zinc, iron, and calcium, preventing your body from absorbing them. And guess what? After 60, you're already at increased risk for deficiencies in these crucial minerals. Your bone density is decreasing, your immune system needs more zinc, and your blood needs adequate iron. So eating foods high in phytic acid can make these problems worse. Second, many people over 60 have blood sugar concerns or full-blown type 2 diabetes, and cashews have a higher glycemic index compared to other nuts. They can cause blood sugar spikes, especially if you eat them in large quantities or on an empty stomach. This roller coaster of blood sugar is terrible for your energy levels, your weight, and your long-term health. Third, and this is really important, cashews must be processed carefully because raw cashews contain a toxic substance called urushiol, the same compound found in poison ivy, while commercially sold cashews are steamed to remove this toxin if they're not processed properly, or if you're buying them from questionable sources. You could be exposed to trace amounts that can cause allergic reactions and skin irritation. And finally, cashews are often heavily salted and flavored with additives that you definitely don't need in your diet after 60. The fourth and final nut on our avoid list is macadamia nuts eaten in large quantities. Now, before you get upset with me, let me explain. Macadamia nuts are not inherently bad. In fact, in moderation, they can be quite healthy. But here's the problem for people over 60. Macadamia nuts are extremely calorie-dense with about 200 calories per ounce, and they're about 75% fat by weight. Now, that fat is mostly monounsaturated, which is good fat, but if you're trying to maintain a healthy weight or if you're dealing with metabolic issues, it's very easy to overeat macadamia nuts because they're so delicious and they don't fill you up as much as other foods. Just a small handful could add 400 to 500 calories to your day without you even realizing it. For someone over 60 whose metabolism has naturally slowed down, this can lead to unwanted weight gain, which brings a host of other problems including increased inflammation, joint stress, and higher risk of chronic diseases. Additionally, some people over 60 have digestive systems that struggle with high-fat foods, leading to bloating, discomfort, and poor nutrient absorption. So, while macadamia nuts aren't dangerous like the others on this list, portion control is absolutely critical. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the 4 nuts you should be eating daily after 60. These are the powerhouses that are going to protect your heart, boost your brain, fight inflammation, and help you feel decades younger. And I want you to pay close attention because incorporating these into your daily routine could be one of the most important health decisions you make. The first nut you absolutely must eat daily is almonds. And I'm not talking about roasted, salted, flavored almonds. I'm talking about raw or lightly dry roasted almonds with no added salt or sugar. Here's why almonds are so incredible for people over 60. First, they're packed with vitamin E, one of the most powerful antioxidants for protecting your cells from damage. Just 1 ounce of almonds provides about 50% of your daily vitamin E needs. And vitamin E is crucial for brain health, skin health, and protecting against cognitive decline. Multiple studies have shown that people who consume adequate vitamin E have a significantly lower risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Second, almonds are loaded with magnesium, and this is huge because about 60% of people over 60 are deficient in magnesium. This mineral is essential for over 300 biochemical reactions in your body, including maintaining healthy blood pressure, supporting bone density, regulating blood sugar, and promoting quality sleep. Third, almonds contain healthy fats that actually help lower bad cholesterol while raising good cholesterol. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that eating just 1.5 ounces of almonds daily significantly reduced belly fat and improved cholesterol levels in participants. Fourth, almonds have a low glycemic index, meaning they won't spike your blood sugar. They actually help stabilize blood sugar throughout the day, which is perfect if you're dealing with prediabetes or diabetes. And finally, almonds are great for your bones. They contain calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, all of which work together to maintain bone density and prevent osteoporosis. So, my recommendation is to eat about 1 to 1.5 ounces of raw almonds daily, which is roughly 23 to 35 almonds. The second nut you need to add to your daily routine is walnuts. And if I could only recommend one nut for brain health, this would be it. Walnuts are absolutely extraordinary for people over 60. And here's why. First, they're the only nut that's significantly high in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid or ALA. Your brain is about 60% fat, and it needs omega-3s to function properly, build new brain cells, and protect against cognitive decline. Studies have shown that regular walnut consumption is associated with better memory, faster processing speed, and a reduced risk of dementia. One study from UCLA even found that eating walnuts daily was linked to improved cognitive test scores in adults. Second, walnuts are powerful anti-inflammatory agents. They contain polyphenols and other compounds that reduce inflammation throughout your entire body. Remember, chronic inflammation is the root cause of most age-related diseases, so fighting it daily with food is one of the smartest things you can do. Third, walnuts support heart health in multiple ways. They help reduce blood pressure, improve the function of blood vessels, lower bad cholesterol, and reduce the formation of dangerous blood clots. A study in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that eating walnuts daily improved cholesterol levels and reduced cardiovascular risk factors. Fourth, walnuts may help with weight management despite being calorie-dense, because they increase feelings of fullness and satisfaction, which can prevent overeating later in the day. And here's something really interesting. Walnuts have been shown to support the health of your gut microbiome, feeding the beneficial bacteria that are crucial for your immune system, digestion, and even your mood. My recommendation is to eat about 1 ounce of walnuts daily, which is about 14 walnut halves. You can eat them raw, add them to your oatmeal or yogurt, or throw them in a salad. The third must-have nut for anyone over 60 is pistachios, and these little green gems are seriously underrated. Let me tell you why pistachios should be part of your daily routine. First, pistachios are incredibly nutrient-dense, packed with protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals, all while being lower in calories than most other nuts. 1 ounce contains about 160 calories compared to 180 or more for most other nuts. So, you get more volume for fewer calories. Second, pistachios are fantastic for eye health, which becomes increasingly important as we age. They contain lutein and zeaxanthin, the powerful antioxidants that accumulate in the retina and protect against age-related macular degeneration and cataracts, 2 of the leading causes of vision loss in people over 60. Third, pistachios have been shown to improve blood sugar control. Several studies have found that eating pistachios with meals can reduce the blood sugar spike from high-carb foods, which is incredibly important if you're managing diabetes or trying to prevent it. Fourth, pistachios support healthy blood vessels and improve cholesterol levels. Research has shown that regular pistachio consumption can increase good HDL cholesterol, while decreasing bad LDL cholesterol and triglycerides. Fifth, pistachios contain more potassium than almost any other nut, with 1 ounce providing more potassium than half a banana. Potassium is crucial for maintaining healthy blood pressure, proper muscle function, and preventing cramping. And here's a fun benefit: because pistachios come in shells, they naturally promote mindful eating. The act of shelling them slows you down, which gives your brain time to register fullness signals, preventing overeating. My recommendation is to eat about 1 to 1.5 ounces of unsalted pistachios daily. The fourth and final nut you must eat daily after 60 is pecans. And I'm willing to bet that pecans are not getting nearly enough credit in the health and nutrition world. Let me share why these nuts are absolute powerhouses for the over 60 crowd. First, pecans contain more antioxidants than almost any other nut. In fact, a study by the USDA ranked pecans among the top 15 foods highest in antioxidants. These antioxidants, including vitamin E, ellagic acid, and flavonoids, fight free radicals that damage your cells and accelerate aging. By eating pecans daily, you're giving your body powerful weapons to fight disease and slow down the aging process. Second, pecans are excellent for heart health. They're rich in monounsaturated fats, the same heart-healthy fats found in olive oil, which help reduce bad cholesterol and inflammation in the arteries. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that eating pecans daily for 8 weeks significantly reduced cholesterol and improved markers of heart disease. Third, pecans are loaded with manganese, a mineral that's crucial for bone health, wound healing, and metabolism. Just 1 ounce of pecans provides more than 60% of your daily manganese needs. Fourth, pecans contain beta-sitosterol, a plant compound that has been shown to support prostate health in men, which becomes increasingly important after 60. Fifth, the fiber in pecans supports digestive health and feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which is essential for immune function, mental health, and overall well-being. And finally, pecans have anti-inflammatory properties that can help reduce the chronic inflammation that contributes to arthritis, heart disease, and other age-related conditions. My recommendation is to eat about 1 ounce of raw or lightly toasted pecans daily, which is about 19 pecan halves. Now, let me give you some practical tips for incorporating these powerful nuts into your daily routine. The easiest way is to create your own custom nut mix. Take equal parts almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and pecans, mix them together in a container, and portion them out into small bags or containers, each containing about 1 to 1.5 ounces total. Have one portion every single day as a snack, or split it between breakfast and an afternoon snack. You can also add these nuts to your meals. Sprinkle them on your morning oatmeal or yogurt. Toss them into salads for extra crunch and nutrition. Blend them into smoothies for added protein and healthy fats. Use them as a topping for roasted vegetables, or even incorporate them into healthy baking recipes. The key is consistency. These nuts work best when you eat them regularly, not just occasionally. Let me also address some common concerns I hear from people. First, what about nut allergies? If you're allergic to any of these nuts, obviously don't eat them. There's no magical nut that's worth risking an allergic reaction. Second, what if you have trouble digesting nuts? Some people find that soaking raw nuts in water overnight makes them easier to digest. This process reduces phytic acid and makes the nutrients more bioavailable. Third, won't eating nuts every day make me gain weight? Not if you're mindful of portions. The recommended amounts I gave you, 1 to 1.5 ounces per day total, are not going to cause weight gain if you're replacing less healthy snacks with nuts. In fact, studies consistently show that people who eat nuts regularly tend to have healthier body weights than those who don't. Fourth, should I buy organic nuts? If you can afford it, yes, especially for almonds and pecans, which are often heavily sprayed with pesticides. But if organic is not in your budget, conventional nuts are still far better than not eating nuts at all. Just make sure you're buying from reputable sources. I also want to address something really important here. The information I'm sharing with you today is not meant to replace medical advice from your doctor. If you have specific health conditions, if you're taking medications, or if you have concerns about adding nuts to your diet, please talk to your healthcare provider first. This video is for educational purposes, to help you understand how different nuts can impact your health after 60. So let me recap everything we've covered today. The four worst nuts for people over 60 are Brazil nuts in excess because of selenium toxicity risk, dry roasted salted peanuts because of high sodium aflatoxins, and inflammation, cashews in large amounts because of phytic acid and blood, sugar impacts, and macadamia nuts in excess because of their extremely high calorie density. The four best nuts you should eat daily are almonds for vitamin E, magnesium, and bone health, walnuts for omega-3s and brain power, pistachios for eye health and blood sugar control, and pecans for antioxidants and heart protection. If you start making these changes today, eating the right nuts and avoiding the wrong ones, I genuinely believe you're going to notice a difference in how you feel within just a few weeks. Your energy will improve, your inflammation will decrease, your brain will feel sharper, and you'll be giving your body exactly what it needs to thrive in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. This is not about deprivation or complicated diet plans. This is about making one simple, powerful change that can have a massive impact on your health span and your quality of life. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these nuts have you been eating? Were you surprised by any of the ones on the avoid list? And are you going to start eating the four powerful nuts I recommended? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone you know who's over 60 and could benefit from this information. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. I'm here every single week bringing you practical, science-backed health and fitness advice specifically designed for people over 60. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, stay healthy, and remember, 60 is not the end. It's just the beginning of your most vibrant chapter yet.